Well, here we are, Veggie Gardens 2022. We're coming along. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, these raised beds are a combination of hugelkultur and deep mulch, so that I'm going to be building, at least theoretically, building soil rather than just using it up and having to dig it out and redo it every 5 years. And in our first bed, we have a couple of peppers. The broccolini are back with a vengeance. We dropped broccoli and are only doing broccolini. We got some plants late from the hothouse, and I think we've already had one cutting. These are second pole beans here. Onions here are doing wonderfully. I've switched my foliar fertilizer from Miracle-Gro to something called Has-to-Grow, which is supposed to be better for soil building. Vortex beans again. Bush beans and snow peas. I imagine we're going to have those pretty soon. Walking around to the next bed. Mandatory flowers. And we have our second crop of pole beans and second crop of bush beans. More broccolini. Again, the bigger plants have already had one cutting. Pepper plants are scattered throughout, just to see. Last year they did not badly. Here's our second crop of peas. Now these were supposed to be late carrots, and they came up very nicely, but something got at them. So we're not going to have very many of those. We have potatoes in bags all over the place, and we're doing very well. And if you didn't see my video on that, you never spear another potato, you never dig another potato, and the soil goes from these into the compost heap. So we have some really nice rich soil that comes out of the compost heap. More onions and different types of tomatoes in the back there. We didn't buy very many tomatoes this year. We got mainly tomatoes from our friends. When we get back over to them, I'll talk to them more. The lettuce is doing marvelously. The Swiss chard is not. And we can't figure out if we got bad seed, but we're going to get some plants out of it. I think that got eaten by something too. These are early carrots. These are Bolero variety, and they were pelleted, and they did very nicely. And the nice thing about it is I was able to space it as I was planting them. So for tomatoes, got Juliets again. This time I got them from a friend of mine. And they're just starting to perk up now. Our last Juliet, this is yellow pear. I've had that before, and it was really good. Most of the Juliets and the yellow pears won't make it into the house. This is early grow. And I had issues with late season wilt or fungus And I haven't had any kind of fungus or wilt problems in these beds, so I'm going to try them again. These are some kind of hybrid tomato from a friend of mine. And we'll see how that goes as the season progresses. Through the potatoes and cucumbers are up and ready to go. It's interesting the way cucumbers and any kind of squash grows. They kind of just sit around and do nothing, and then they explode sometime in July. This is a new type of bean. This is a yellow bean that I'm trying on the trellis. It's a climbing bean. It's supposed to be very good and tender. And it's some more of them just to see. Then we have lots and lots more tomatoes with a few sunflowers in between. These tomatoes here are called mortgage breakers. And supposedly you're supposed to get 2-pound fruit out of them. They're a vining type too, so we're going to bear all summer. But we'll see on that. And I can't even remember what's over here. Something else. We'll find out when they finally do produce fruit. Anyway, we'll go over to the food forest and see what's going on there. As an interlude, Nancy's going to tell us about her flowers here.
Oh, I just carried 2 pails of earth. I'm pooped.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do we got here, Nancy?
What do we have here?
What's this
Well,
one?
we have long, white rose.
Oh, no, start from here. So
That's Therese Bagnet, the pink shrub rose. And this is a dahlia, which is an annual. It's a tuber.
And this is the shrub rose that you just
That's
said, right?
Therese Bagnet, yes. And will be transplanted into our rose garden when we get it made.
Yeah.
And this is the, now I forget, the blanc. I forget. Anyway, she's a beautiful white shrub rose. Portulaca, which is not doing well with all the rain we've had.
And what we got down here?
Double petunias, yes, double petunias.
And over here?
I don't know everything in there. I think it's tilapia or something. And I'm just going to transplant it. It's in too small a pot. And the snapdragon. Oh, this is a petunias. And the snapdragon's down in the corner here. We got at Sugar Free, remember? And they weren't doing very well with all the rain, but I cut them off, and now they're bounding back.
Yeah,
There's morning glory in the corner.
Oh, the morning glory coming Friday, didn't know that.
Yeah.
And we got some celery coming up here. It's our first time trying celery.
Yes, that's thanks to Bernice. She started it in the greenhouse.
And
to find something.
The odd little tomato plants there.
Yes.
And this is?
It starts with an M. I always forget what it's called, but it's sure pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
The
geez,
M
what is
pretty
it?
white flower.
Yeah, right. I'm just going to train it along the wire here now, but it really needs a bigger pot too. So
And
I'll see.
we got nice cosmos again.
Yes, but they're not as nice as last year. They're called seashell, the variety seashell, and they're a smaller flower, and they're not as colorful as the taller cosmos we had last year. So, but it's all the greenhouse has.
What's this?
That's a miniature rose,
Okay.
and beside it is a miniature rose too. Which they're doing pretty well now. They were kind of suffering for a while.
And then we have our big tomato plant.
I mean, it's July the 5th. What's going to happen to this thing by the end of the season is just huge.
Yeah, we have quite a few snacks off of that.
Yes, for sure. And they're actually good.
And
This is our favorite, I
yeah,
think,
our
here.
strawberry plant. We did one of these last year and then tossed it in the food forest, where it did very well until something ate most of it.
Yeah, darn gopher, I think.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
every day we come out and we
Yeah,
snack
yeah.
off this one. They never get in the house, do they?
Nope, they never do.
No. I'm wondering if it needs to be watered a little more frequently, why it's yellowing and getting yellow on the
Well,
leaves. I don't know.
it got drenched this morning.
Yeah, and I just did it again, but see, look at the size of the pot, and it's been so hot.
And this is Nancy's orange plant.
Yeah, and he's not doing too well. He's kind of yellow in the leaves. He's doing better.
Yeah.
I transplanted it. I think it needs to have some nitrogen.
There we go.
I'm trying to think of the name of it. This is an angel wing begonia, and it got beat up when we put it in the pot. It's really hard to transplant, and then we had a big wind, so it's not as big as it should be, but it will. It's doing well now, so we should be okay with that.
Okay, and we have
That's called an amaranthus, the hanging plant there, and the common name for it is love lies bleeding, and I think it's quite appropriate. And below there you see some more of the double petunias, which they're a favorite of mine. I really like them.
oh, milkweed. Okay.
I thought I saw 3. Oh, this is milkweed here. It's the greater milkweed, and there's another one here, and near it, the purple on the top, and they're volunteers. They all came from this mother plant here, which I planted long ago in this jungle, but we're redoing our front yard, so one day it'll look better.
What is looking good is
The spirea.
spirea.
It's a broader weak spirea, so it has that kind of pendulant look to it, and it's very old. It's probably 45 years old, but it's been hacked down a few times and it bounces back there.
Yeah, and this morning was full of bee-like critters. I don't know if they were actually bee. Oh, here's one here. Let's see if we can.
Is that today?
Yeah, it's full of these guys.
Oh, they are. They're like small bees.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that nice?
So we have pollinators, even though they aren't official. Yeah. So that is the flowers. Now we're into the food forest here. That is doing fairly well. There's a little bit more weeding in here so far. The general idea of a food forest is that you keep on putting down wood chips until nothing grows through it, and then pull the wood chips aside and do your plantings. So coming along here, we have zucchini, and amongst the poison ivy, Haskap bushes. They're scattered all along here, and I think we might have eaten through this one already. We'll find one later on. One of the peppers is already bearing quite a bit. Another one next to it isn't. We put in some cabbages just as an experiment. One of them got eaten, but the rest of them are doing very well. There's the eaten one. Rhubarb sat there for the longest time and it's finally starting to grow here. There we are. Rhubarb. Zucchini. Cherry. Corn, doing very well this year. And these are golden raspberries. They're as sweet as anything. And they're starting to divide, so I'm going to have bigger rows very quickly of those. There's gladiolas all around. All around. Okay, this is squash here. And this is black raspberry. And let's see if we can get in and have a look at the thorns. That's going to be fun. Here's our strawberry plant from last year, and you can see it's starting to recover again. And more Haskaps with peppers in between. See if I can find some Haskaps for you folks. Oh yeah, here's some in this one. Let's see if we can get them on the camera there. Yeah, there's some. Anyway, they've been a real treat. Next year we'll have a real crop. Only thing else, oh yeah, we got our melons over here. They're doing not too much yet, but again, they'll explode sometime this month, hopefully. Last year, we got 16 melons from one plant, I think, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. Yeah, it looks like my peppers are wanting nitrogen, but we'll see. So anyway, that's how it begins. Everything we're going to add to this is probably a plum tree. When this will be done, and I'll probably be at my capacity of being able to handle everything. Anyway, see you later in the summer.